Okay, good day to our grade 8 students. For this lesson, this is going to be our second to the last lesson for geometry for the fourth quarter and for all lessons in geometry. So this is going to be on equations of circles. This is a very easy problem. So let's try this problem. Okay, we have here the endpoints of a diameter of the circle have coordinates -3 and -2 and 5, 2. So we need to find the area of the circle if the center of the circle is at 1, 0. Now, how do we solve for this problem? It's only asking us for the area of the circle. So the endpoints of a diameter of the circle have coordinates -3 and -2. So where will you find these coordinates? So most likely, since they are negative and negative, we'll find them in quadrant 3. As this is positive and positive, so we're going to find these coordinates in quadrant 1. So let's try to locate them. So we have x for -3, and then y for -2. So this is our point here. So let's say this is our point A, or coordinate A. And then for our coordinate B, we have 5 and 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2. Okay. So this are, this are point B for this problem. Okay, so now that we have our point B, let's try to connect them. Okay, so let's try to connect these two lines. Okay, again, so it has to be straight. Okay, so it has to be a straight line. It doesn't really have to pass through the center. If it just needs to pass through the center, then that's required. Okay, so let's try to draw it again. Okay, cleaner this time, much cleaner. Okay, from here to here. There you go. Okay, so this is our line. Okay, so if this is our line, and the center of the circle is at 1, 0. So x is 1 and y is 0. So that means it has to be here. There you go. Now if this is the center of our circle, now how do we find the radius of the circle? So for the area, again, okay, we need to find the radius of the circle. To find the distance, to find the distance between 2 points, there is a formula that we'll have to use. Okay, so to solve for the area of the circle, again, you need pi r squared. And since we don't know yet the value of the radius, so we can't be sure just by counting here, it's best to use the distance formula. And that's given by the square root of x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. Now, for this problem, so we have our x sub 2 and x sub 1. So this is our x sub 1, this is our x sub 2, this is our y sub 1, and then this is our y sub 2. So we're solving for the value of the distance, or value of t. So this is going to give us 5 minus -3 squared plus y sub 2, which is 2, minus -2 squared. So this is going to give us d is equal to 8 squared plus 4 squared. D is equal to 64 plus 16, and therefore d is just equal to the square root of 80. There we go. So if that's the square root of 80, and that's the distance between A to B, since we only want to find half of it, we just divide that by 2, the distance for the diameter of the circle. Okay, if we're going to try to draw a circle, so it's going to look like this. Okay, so it's not a perfect circle. Okay, so therefore the distance is equal to the square root of 80, which is 4 square root of 5, divided by 2, which is d over 2, which is the radius, which is 2 square root of 5. So therefore, you already have the value for the radius. The radius is just equal to 2 square root of 5 units. Now, how do you solve for the area of the circle? So that's just a is equal to pi times 2 square root of 5 units. So that should give us 2 square root of 5 squared. I'm sorry, pi times 2 square root of 5 squared. So that should give us 20. And 20 times pi is just 20 pi. Okay? So therefore, the area of our circle is equal to 20 pi squared units. Or if you try to evaluate that and use a decimal as our value, so that's going to give us approximately 62.83. So the area, the approximate area of our circle is around 62.83 squared units. And that's how we answered our first problem using distance formula.